Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Jane and Alex podcast. I am so happy you are here with us today to practice your English listening skills.
Hello, hello. It is great to be back behind the microphone. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by Jane. How are you doing today, Jane?
I'm doing really well, Alex. Thank you. Actually, I had a very calm morning. I drank my coffee, read a little bit of a book, and just relaxed. It was nice. How about you? How was your morning?
My morning was interesting. I actually woke up a little late because my alarm didn't go off. So I was rushing around the house, trying to find my keys, trying to make breakfast, and trying not to be late for our recording session. It was a bit chaotic, to be honest.
Oh no, that sounds stressful, but you made it on time, so that is good. Speaking of stress and chaos in the house, that actually leads us perfectly in today's topic.
That is a very smooth transition, Jane. Yes, today we are talking about something that happens in almost every relationship, no matter how much people love each other. We are talking about arguments between husbands and wives, or partners.
Yes, it is a spicy topic today. We are going to talk about fighting, arguing, bickering, and making up. This is real-life English, everyone. If you are in a relationship with an English speaker, or if you just watch English movies, you need to know this vocabulary.
Exactly. We aren't teaching you how to fight, but we are teaching you the words used during a conflict. Because, let's be honest, disagreements are natural. It's how you handle them that matters. So, Jane, when you think of a husband and wife arguing, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? What are they usually arguing about?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think the classic stereotype is housework. Chores. Who is washing the dishes? Who is taking out the trash? Why are there dirty socks on the floor?
The dirty socks on the floor, that is a classic. I think that falls under the category of pet peeves.
Pet peeves. Can you explain that phrase for our listeners?
Sure. A pet peeve is a small thing that a specific person finds very annoying. It might not bother other people, but it really bothers you. For example, leaving the toothpaste cap off might be a pet peeve.
Right. So let's imagine a scenario. A husband comes home, takes off his socks, and leaves them right in the middle of the living room floor. The wife sees this and she gets irritated. She might say, "Why do I always have to pick up after you?"
Ooh, pick up after you. That is a great phrasal verb. It means to clean up the mess that someone else has made. If you tell your partner, "I am not your mother. I don't want to pick up after you," that is definitely the start of an argument.
Definitely. And then the husband might get defensive. He might say, "I was going to pick them up later. Stop nagging me."
Nagging, that is a very common word in relationship arguments. To nag means to complain or ask someone to do something repeatedly in an annoying way. Clean your room, do the dishes, take out the trash. If you say it too many times, the other person feels like you are nagging them.
Nobody likes to be nagged, but also nobody likes to live in a messy house. So this is where the conflict starts. It's usually about pulling your weight.
Yes, pulling your weight. That means doing your fair share of the work. If one person is doing 90% of the housework and the other person is only doing 10%, the first person will feel resentment. They will feel like their partner isn't pulling their weight.
Resentment is a heavy feeling. It's like anger that builds up over a long time. So, Alex, how do people usually resolve this kind of chore argument? Do they just yell?
Well, hopefully not. Yelling usually makes things worse. A better way is to sit down and have a calm discussion. You might say, "Honey, I feel overwhelmed when the house is messy. Can we make a schedule?"
That sounds very mature. But in the heat of the moment, it is hard to be mature. Sometimes people just snap.
To snap means to suddenly lose your temper and get angry. Like you are calm, 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 and then snap. You start shouting.
I have definitely snapped before when I was tired. Being hangry, hungry and angry, doesn't help either.
Oh, being hangry is the cause of 50% of all arguments, I am sure of it. Okay, so chores are a big one. What is another common topic for arguments?
Money, finances. This is a huge one. Maybe the wife wants to save money for a house, but the husband wants to buy a new expensive gaming computer.
Or vice versa. Maybe the husband is very frugal, meaning he doesn't like to spend money, and the wife likes to treat herself to nice clothes or dinners.
Frugal is a nice word. It's a positive way to say cheap. But if you are arguing, you might call the person stingy. Stingy is negative. It means you hate spending money, even when you should.
Right, so let's play out a money argument. One person says, we need to stick to the budget. And the other person says, you never let me have any fun. You are so controlling.
Ouch. That word controlling is a trigger word. It makes people very defensive. In this situation, the couple needs to find a middle ground.
A middle ground or a compromise. A compromise is when both sides give up a little bit to reach an agreement. Maybe they buy the computer, but they don't go out to dinner for a month. They meet halfway.
Meeting halfway is essential. But Alex, sometimes it's not about what they are arguing about, it's about how they argue. Some people are shouters, and some people give the silent treatment.
Oh, the silent treatment. That is when you are angry, so you completely ignore the other person. You don't speak to them, you don't look at them, you act like they don't exist. That can be very painful.
It is very passive-aggressive. Instead of saying, I am mad, you just shut down. I think that is actually worse than shouting sometimes. Because if you shout, at least you are communicating.
Well, shouting can be scary or hurtful if you say mean things. There's a phrase, hitting below the belt.
Like in boxing?
Exactly. In boxing, you cannot hit below the belt. It's against the rules. In an argument, hitting below the belt means saying something very personal and hurtful just to win the fight, like bringing up a past mistake or insulting their family.
Oh, bringing up the past, that is the worst. Remember 3 years ago when you forgot my birthday? That is not fair.
No, it's not. You should stick to the current issue. If you are fighting about the dishes, talk about the dishes. Don't talk about the birthday from 2019.
So we have the shouters, the silent treatment people, and then we have the peacemakers, the people who just want to smooth things over immediately.
To smooth things over means to make the situation calm again, usually by apologizing or changing the subject. But sometimes you need to actually solve the problem, not just smooth it over.
True. If you just smooth it over, the problem might come back later. We call that sweeping it under the rug.
Yes, if you sweep dirt under the rug, the room looks clean, but the dirt is still there. Eventually, you will trip over the rug.
I love these idioms today. So many good visual images. Okay, let's talk about another scenario. The in-laws. The mother-in-law or father-in-law.
Oh boy, this is tricky territory. Tricky territory means a dangerous or difficult subject. Often, arguments happen because one partner feels the other partner is prioritizing their parents over their spouse.
Right. Maybe the mother-in-law comes over unannounced, without calling first, and criticizes the cooking. The wife looks at the husband and waits for him to defend her, but he says nothing.
And then when the mother-in-law leaves, boom, the argument starts. Why didn't you stand up for me?
Stand up for me. That means to defend or support someone. That is a very important phrase in relationships. You want your partner to have your back.
To have someone's back, another great idiom. It means to support them and protect them. If you feel like your partner doesn't have your back, you feel lonely in the relationship.
So, Alex, we have talked about all these problems. Chores, money, communication, in-laws. It sounds depressing. How do we fix it? How do we make up?
Making up is the best part. To make up means to resolve the conflict and become friendly again. The first step is usually cooling off.
Cooling off. That means taking a break to let your anger go down. Sometimes you need to say, I am too angry to talk right now. I need to go for a walk and cool off.
That is very healthy. Once you are cool, you can come back and talk. And then the magic words, I am sorry.
But it has to be a real apology, not, I am sorry you feel that way. That is a fake apology.
Correct. A real apology takes responsibility. I am sorry I yelled. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that.
And then the other person needs to forgive. Forgiveness is letting go of the anger. It doesn't mean what happened was okay, but it means you are ready to move forward.
Exactly. You bury the hatchet. That's an old idiom that means to stop fighting and make peace. You bury the weapon so you can't use it anymore.
I like that. Bury the hatchet. And sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
Yes, sometimes you will never have the same opinion. You like action movies, I like romantic comedies. We will never agree on which is better. So we agree to disagree and we take turns choosing the movie.
That is a perfect example of compromise. You know, Alex, I think arguments can actually be good for a relationship sometimes.
Really? How so?
Well, it clears the air. If you keep everything inside, it builds up. But if you argue respectfully, you understand what the other person is feeling. You learn about their boundaries.
Clearing the air. I agree. It removes the tension. As long as you respect each other, a little conflict is normal. It shows you care.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't bother arguing. You would just be indifferent.
Indifference, not caring at all, is the opposite of love. Arguing is passionate.
Okay, let's do a quick role play for our listeners before we wrap up. I want to demonstrate a healthy resolution. I'll be the wife, you be the husband. We just had a fight about you coming home late without calling.
Okay, I'm ready. Action.
So, Alex, can we talk? I've calmed down a bit.
Yeah, Jane, I'm ready to talk. Look, I want to apologize. I know I should have called you to tell you I'd be late. I lost track of time at work, but that's no excuse.
Thank you for saying that. It just made me worry, I thought maybe something happened to you. I wasn't trying to control you. I was just scared.
I understand. I didn't see it from your perspective. I thought you were just nagging me about the time, but I see now that you were worried. I promise next time I will send a text if I am going to be more than 15 minutes late.
That's all I ask. Thank you. I'm sorry I yelled at you when you walked in the door. I was just stressed.
It's okay. I forgive you. Let's order a pizza and relax.
Sounds perfect.
And scene. How was that?
I think we deserve an Oscar. But really, notice the language we used. I see it from your perspective. I promise. I forgive you. These are the building blocks of a good resolution.
Absolutely. Learning English isn't just about grammar rules. It's about learning how to express your emotions and navigate complex social situations like this.
We covered a lot of vocabulary today. Nagging, pet peeves, pulling your weight, silent treatment, clearing the air, burying the hatchet.
It's a lot. We recommend listening to this episode a few times. Maybe write down the phrases and try to use them. Hopefully not in an argument, but maybe when telling a story about one.
Yes, please don't go start a fight just to practice your English. Honey, you are not pulling your weight. Why are you saying that? I am practicing my podcast vocabulary.
That would be a terrible idea. But do let us know in the comments if you have any funny stories about arguments, or if there is a specific topic you want us to cover next.
We love reading your comments. It really helps us know what you need help with. So, what did you think of today's episode? Was it useful? Did you learn new expressions?
Let us know below. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more English learners like you.
We post new episodes every week to help you improve your speaking and listening. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Keep practicing, stay calm, and don't leave your socks on the floor.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time. Bye.